Welcome everybody to this week's Corca and Q&A. Hope everybody had a great week. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, if you're watching this on repeat, we are live for about an hour or so on YouTube answering your Corca related questions. Today, we're diving head into a ton of Corca related talk. We just had a bunch of Rokus coming out. Next week, the new Fire TV Stick comes out. A couple weeks after that, the Fire TV Recast DVR for Fire TVs come out. So, jump on in here, post your questions. Hopefully, I can help you get the most out of your cord cutting experience. We'll see what happens. Hello, Tom. Good to see you there. And then we'll just kind of dive in. All right, let me share this really quickly on Facebook so everybody can come join us, and then we'll get started. All right. One more place to post it, and we'll be live to go. Hello, Sean. Good to see you there. Tom, good to see you from California. Chris, hello. All right. There we go. All right, everybody. We're all set. Jimmy, Josh, let's go. All right, so if you have a question, post in the comments. I'll do my best to answer all of them. And as always, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern for everybody watching right here. But while we wait for a ton of people to come in, don't forget, tonight, the giveaway ends. We are giving away a 2018 Roku Ultra. It's the brand new one with the new earbuds. Link in the show notes down below. This is your chance to enter to win a 2018 Roku Ultra. There's also a reason why to watch live when you can, because you get a chance not to only ask questions, but to do cool things like win giveaways. All right. So let's get into it, everybody. A bunch of people, New York, Texas, North Texas, South Texas, everybody. Hello, Richard. Hello, Ariel, Tom, everyone. So one question I got in our previous Q&A that I haven't answered, I wanted to get to from James. Is it better to get a Roku TV or a Roku player? This is a common question I get. Which one should I get? A Roku TV or a Roku player? My thing is, if you need a new TV, I would get a Roku TV. They are, especially some of those TCL ones, very good TVs. The 6 Series is probably the best TV under $1,000 on the market right now. For under $1,000, there's, if you want to pay $2,000, $3,000, there's some crazy good TVs out there. If you have a TV and it works great and you're happy, I would get a Roku player because there's no reason to go buy a whole new TV just to get a Roku. So that's my stance on it. Performances have come very similar. Roku TV is very similar to the Roku Ultra now. So just keep that in mind. Yes, Richard, I am feeling a lot better today. Finally kicked that cold that was just kind of beating living dates on me. It took a whole week to get over that cold. So feeling a lot better. Mucinex nighttime is amazing stuff. I love that. All right. Get your questions in, and I'll do my best. Let's see. Everybody say hi. Kentucky, Florida, Ohio, Virginia, Vancouver, and more. So it's great to see you out here. Is the JetSet TV box from Walmart better than the MyBox that they used to sell? Well, Walmart still sells the MyBox. They even have an updated version of it now for sale. MyBox S, I think it's called, which is effectively the same MyBox as before, just has a different remote. I am going to try to get my hands on that in the next week or two. We'll see what happens with that. The JetSet box, I haven't got my hands on it yet. The specs and everything looks very comparable. I wouldn't expect to see any type of massive difference in performance between the two. So I would say nothing really there to make the Jet box or JetSet, however it's called, stand out from the Me box on Walmart. And they're both now for sale. I'm not sure if JetBox is being sold nationwide in stores. It is being sold on Walmart.com. More people. Hello, Sandy from New York City and Richard from Iowa. San Antonio, Texas. Wow, a lot of Texas people. Great to see that. But if you have a core related question, post in the comments. I'll do my best to answer it. John asks, will the Amazon Recast be worth it? Well, I'm getting a lot of questions. Should I get an Amazon Recast? That's the new DVR specifically built for the Fire TV. It will work with Fire TVs and mobile devices like Android and iOS phones. Now, it won't work with Roku. It won't work with the Apple TV. That's a big holdup. It is more than a Tableau DVR, and they're very similar. The idea is you take the Recast Fire TV DVR, plug your antenna into it, connect it to the Wi-Fi, and then it streams out across multiple devices. Now, what I'm hearing is at launch, it won't include external hard drive support. That will come at a later date. One of the big selling points is, while it is more expensive up front than a Tablo DVR, which has been going for from 100 to 150. This is in the 220 some. Don't quote me on the price. It's up the range. So it's about 100 and some bucks more. The benefit, though, is there's no lifetime contract. When you add in the lifetime subscription for the Tablo, they kind of wash out. One of the things I think that's good about the Tablo is it works with a ton of devices. It works with the Fire TV. It works with the Roku, the Apple TV, all kinds of mobile devices. There's a web browser version, which I think is really cool to watch it on a laptop. I often use my Tablo here on the second screen when I'm working to watch some news or a football game. So I think there is a selling point to it that way. There's also the downside that so there's no monthly fee, which is great. It's a great selling point. It's great integration to the Fire TV. If you're Fire TV, that's a great selling point. I think the biggest downside of the Fire TV recast without touching it is the lack of other device support. So if you're a multi-device home, you can't say, I can't have my Fire TV in the living room and my Roku in the bedroom, for example, both access it. So that's my only thing. We'll wait and see. Jimmy, you are right. Google Play did just announce that they're upgrading many of their movies to 4K. There's a story over at CoreCarsNews.com posted today if you want to read more about that. Is it true that the new software update to Roku 9.0 brings Spotify back? Yes, so Spotify and all kinds of stuff is coming back to Roku. 9.0 started rolling out yesterday. Will take a few weeks to get to all Roku players. Roku TVs, they say in January it will come out too. But we'll bring back to Spotify a few other things like Pandora Premium is coming and additional features. Google Home Assistant. So if you have a Google Home device, you can use it to turn on and off your Roku and do more now. I have not gotten my hands on a Amazon Fire 4K Fire TV stick. I haven't seen too many reviews. It doesn't seem like they're giving a lot away. I do have a review unit I purchased myself coming, so I'll try to get my hands on it as quickly as I can. Will I be testing the Google system when it comes out with the Roku TV? Yeah, I will be doing my best to test that out. Any new news about YouTube TV adding more channels? Nope, they haven't said anything. If they do, or if I hear anything, I'll post about it over at CoreCarsNews.com, so keep an eye on that. All right, so questions, comments, keep them coming. How do you go about finding the right internet provider? This is a common question I get. This one comes from Angela. And the question is how do I find out which internet providers? Well, 5G is rolling across the United States. Verizon's already in a handful of markets. AT&T announced today that in the next couple of weeks, they'll be launching their 5G internet service. But the idea is that you want internet options. Well, you may be waiting for a little while for 5G. 5G is going to roll out some this year, a lot more next year, 2020. By the end of it, about half of the United States will have one or more internet provider or 5G providers where you live. For now, my recommendation is to do two things. Always be willing to switch between cable and DSL. Every couple of years, I make the switch between cable and DSL, and that allows me to get more bang for my buck. It allows me to be considered a new customer and get the best possible deal. So always keep that in mind. What speed do you need? I would say I would recommend 2025. I know some people say you can do it with 10. It really depends on how many people live in your home. Each stream of Netflix in HD takes 5 down. So if you want to run 2 Netflix streams, you need at least 10 down. If you want to run 4K, you really do need about 20 down to do a good 4K stream. So I would always keep that in mind out there. Things like Netflix, or Netflix is the big one. Things like surfing Facebook and the like don't really take a lot of speed. So I wouldn't be so concerned about that. I would be more thinking like, how many streams simultaneously do I want? Start with 5 at each time and go from there. Really, I think for most people, 20 to 25 down is what you should go for. How will 5G work off of cell phone towers? Well, they're upgrading the cell phone towers with equipment. AT&T's doing that now. Verizon's doing it. They're also adding small cells to fill in gaps and blank areas. So keep an eye out for the ability for that. So it's 5G is just the next generation of internet. You have 3G, 4G, 5G. It does work differently. You do need different chips in your phone, just like we did from 3G to 4G. And this 5G for most of the networks is being built primarily as a mobile. Is being built primarily not for mobile, but for home internet. So keep that in mind. Luke, I got 2 updates last week on Roku for DirecTV Now, and the sound is a lot better. Oh, that's great. Yeah, so DirecTV Now has been rolling a lot of updates across the mini devices. Haven't really been talking much about what's in it, but I have heard there's been some sound things with it. Luke, how do you think Redbox is doing? Is it still reasonable price? Right. Yeah, it's under $2 a night for a DVD. Much better deal than buying it from or renting it from Amazon or iTunes and so forth. And they even have their own streaming service. If you're not checking out Redbox as an option for cord cutting, you kind of miss out. It's not a bad one. Will Roku ever get Facebook Watch? Yeah, I don't see why it won't. Actually, Roku is the first device with a Facebook app to watch your videos and movies. For some reason, they haven't come out with AT&T or with the Facebook Watch. Hopefully that happens soon. What speeds do I have at home and office? Here at home, I'm running a gigabyte now, and the sole reason for the gigabyte is for this YouTube stream. It wasn't that much more expensive, tax deduction on a business expense a little bit, but the faster internet speed up makes for a better streaming experience here. Also helps me get streams up. At the office, I just do 100. It works fine. I don't do live streams from the office, so the speed wasn't as big of a concern going up. So, unfortunately, I wish I could get better. Some like fiber, some true ones have the same up and down. I only get about 40 up with a gigabyte versus 10 or 20 before, but it has made a noticeable improvement in the upstream out here. All right, so Comcast and Spectrum, yes. So 5G is taking direct aim at Comcast and Spectrum. The goal of 5G and T-Mobile said this is to compete directly with Comcast and Spectrum. Basically, T-Mobile hopes to very soon have half of both of those markets covered with their 5G service. Why do the Fire TV Stick remote's batteries go bad so quickly? Because it's got the voice control. It's kind of a different thing than an IR one. It requires more battery power to transmit the commands. It shouldn't be going bad too quickly. You should get most of a year out of a set of batteries. I don't know. Here's a question for everybody. How long on average do your batteries last? I find my Rokus and Fire TVs last about a year. All right. Are there still streaming hardware that doesn't support 60 frames per second? I think most current generation streaming players do support 60 frames per second. It's more on the streaming service. Now, it is important to remember, not all cable networks natively stream in 60 frames per second. A lot of the smaller non-sports and non-live, the drama networks and stuff, do air on cable even at 30 frames per second. So just keep that in mind. Any news on Locast being added to more markets? So Locast is a free streaming service that offers locals, but you have to live in that specific market. Just for now, they have said they're continuing to roll out, but they have not set any dates for when it will happen. Any news on Fubo TV adding new channels? Nope, not this time. If we do learn anything, we will be posting over at CoreCarsNews.com. Why would anyone buy Fire TV without YouTube support? I think a lot of people don't necessarily care as much about YouTube as many other people do. Well, and you can use the browser and other ways to get around them. Luke, is 5G safe? Yes. The overwhelming evidence, the science and studies, everything does show 5G is very safe. And remember, 5G has been running in your home for years. I have a 5G router sitting right back here. You ever see those, like Wi-Fi network and then Wi-Fi network dash 5G? That's effectively the same technology that's going to be used for 5G internet, but it's been running off your modem for a little while now. So, no, the preponderance of the evidence is it's very safe. But I'm no doctor, I'm no lawyer. My recommendation, though, don't get your advice from people on YouTube. I know I'm on YouTube, don't get your advice from me. But if somebody's on YouTube screaming, yelling about how something's not safe, and they're not a doctor, and they're They don't really have a lot of scientific evidence behind them. Just I would always keep that in mind. Do you think Apple's streaming service will include live TV or just on demand? Apple has said that their service will be just on demand. According to all reports, CBS's president even came out and said that Apple has abandoned their plans to launch a live TV service. Kind of similar to Amazon. Amazon initially planned to launch a live TV streaming service. Once they got into the contract negotiations, they looked at the competition. They said, hey, just not worth it for us. So they dropped their plans to do that. Any new Roku channels? They're always coming out. And if you watch every month on CoreCarsNews.com, I do kind of a new Roku channels or different kind of ones. So check out our right here, youtube.com/CoreCarsNews and over at CoreCarsNews.com. For every month, I try to post a breakdown of some of the new ones. Do you think that when DirecTV Now or any other streaming service raises their price, it's encouraging people to cancel the service? Yes, there is no friction. You raise my price, there's 8 other streaming services I could go to tomorrow and cancel your service, sign up with another one within like 15 minutes. It takes less than 15 minutes for me to switch from DirecTV Now to Hulu to PlayStation Vue to Sling TV, etc. So yes, I do think, and we did see that today. DirecTV Now in the second quarter of 2018 had over 300 some thousand new subscribers. This quarter, in the third quarter, just announced today, only had 49,000. That's a dramatic drop. It was almost 300,000 fewer new subscribers this month. So just keep that in mind. What caused that? I think it was a lot of things. I think it had to do with the fact that they've had a lot of issues. A lot of promotional offers have ended. But I also think it comes down to turn. That even AT&T talked about the turn, and that's the people sign up and then they cancel. And a lot of people must have canceled. Yeah, I bet the new signups was actually higher than 49,000, but with so many people canceling, it pressed that number down. So let's keep it in mind. KBM says, hey, Luke, Hulu acquired new local channels in the United States. Yes, they did. I just reported on this week. They acquired quite a few. So check that out at CoreCarsNews.com for more details. PlayStation Vue is acquiring more Sinclair-owned locals. I think they're pretty close to having most of the Sinclair-owned locals, but not all back yet. DustX is a great new streaming channel on the Roku. Correct? You are correct, Craig. It is a sci-fi channel. It's 100% free. If you like sci-fi content, check out DustX on Roku. And I think it's on most streaming services now. Don't count me on that though. I don't have the list in front of me of how many people or how many devices it's on. What update do I need on the Fire TV for the integration in the PlayStation Vue? You shouldn't need any. It should just work by logging in your PlayStation Vue, and you should start seeing on your home screen rows appear every now and then to be like, here's what's on PlayStation Vue. On the home screen, sometimes you see a row of Netflix and other things. You'll see it there now. Bob says he tried DirecTV Now, but the DVR can't cast a Chromecast. It's been just broken since May. I was not aware. I knew I've used my Chromecast with DirecTV Now, but I haven't tried the DVR. I don't actually watch a lot of DVR content. I do it for testing. Let me test that out. Let me look into that, see if I can come up with anything. I'm not sure. All right, keep those questions coming. And don't forget, also, we got these mugs for sale, $10.99. I know a lot of people asked. Core Cars News coffee mugs back in stock for the third time. But we're giving away a Roku Ultra. Try that again over here. We're giving away a Roku Ultra. Ends tonight. Link in the show notes. If you want to enter the giveaway, check it down there. It'd be really great. Kurt says, with no more licensing fee with Impact 2, do you think Roku boxes will support it like their TVs? Could be, could not. The reality of it, talking to people in and out of Roku, the reality of it is so few things really use Impact 2, especially with over-the-air TV making the transition away from it even. That it's like, why go back and support such an old standard kind of thing? I don't know. We'll wait and see. Um, Luke, I see AT&T van in Greensville, Texas, working on lines. Yeah, it could be he's working on upgrading the networks in that area. I'm not sure exactly where Greenville is. Is that if it's close to Dallas or Waco? It could be related to 5G rollout. How big is the Core Cars News? It's a standard size coffee mug. It's just what you would find on any restaurant table or anything. Any idea how to remove shows from DirecTV Now's continue watching? No, I don't think they offer the option. Hulu just added that option so you can remove shows from being suggested or even remove shows from your watch history. So hopefully DirecTV Now adds that ability. Which streaming services do I use? I have all of them. Which ones do I use most often? During non-football season, really like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon gets used a lot. Under the free category, I do love NewsOn and a bunch of the others like that. Pluto TV and more, Tubi, Crackle, the free stuff. During football season, I bounce around. Really, whatever live TV service offers the channel I want to watch the game on. But yeah, so that's the ones I would say I use most often. My recommendation, my experience is pretty much all the live TV streaming services for the most part have very similar performance in streaming. Some are a little bit better. Sling and YouTube have really kind of distanced themselves in the stability department. But I think it really is coming down to, for most people, is which one has the channels you want. And if it has the channels you want, you're good. You're locked in. So what kind of hardware would you need when over-the-air TV 3.0 comes out, the new standard? So this is coming out about 2020 is the target date for me. The big networks to start rolling that out. And what you're going to need is a converter box. And they're basically, what they're talking about is a little stick, kind of like a Fire TV stick or a Roku stick with a coaxial cable on the end. You plug it in your HDMI port, you plug your antenna into that stick, and you have 3.0 over-the-air TV. You're all set to go. Of course, I would expect maybe around CES next year. Maybe that could be a little early, but we'll see. Could be maybe in April when the National Association of Broadcasters have their show. But we'll start hearing about new TVs being sold next year with 3.0 over-the-air TV standard. They've set the standard. It's stone. TV manufacturers can now start building it. They're currently testing in a lot of markets. We should begin to the point where that goes. And then we'll be rolling out the new 3.0 over-the-air TV standard. Kurt, you are correct that broadcast TV is using Impact 2, but not the new standard. The new standard does not. And we're moving towards the new standard. Look for them to move towards the new standard because there's a financial gain. There's a lot of benefits. The new standard offers stuff that can make companies money with over-the-air TV. So I expect that'll be very quickly adopted starting in 2020. Maybe says Comcast has a terabyte limit. I have 4 kids. What's your thoughts on going by the limit? Kids stream YouTube a lot. 3 things I would recommend right off the bat. Turn off autoplay next on a lot of the services. If you Google like Hulu, autoplay next off on Roku or whatever. What I find is that's the biggest data consumption. A lot of people will be watching a show on Netflix, turn the TV off, but not actually stop the Roku or the Apple TV or the Fire TV. And it will burn for hours, burn gigabytes. Or you set the sleep timer on the TV, you fall asleep, and Netflix or Hulu just keeps burning. If you disable autoplay next, then you'll be able to save a ton of gigabytes. So that's my number one suggestion there on saving data caps. Even with 4 kids, you should be able to stay under a terabyte. I do think now that 5G is rolling out without data caps by Verizon, we'll see what the others do. I think that's going to put pressure on places like Comcast to drop their data cap. Kurt, you are correct that over-the-air TV runs at Impact 2, and HD Home Run likes to do it without transcoding. They could do it to work on Roku. They just don't want to, which is fine. That's their decision. If you're bent on using an HD Home Run, Apple TV, Fire TV, work with it. I think it's a mistake on HD Home Run. I don't think they'll ever be as big as they could until they support Roku. Or you could use it in HD Home Run, plug it into your Plex media server, use Plex to stream it to your Roku. If Donald says you're local to the location of Core Cars News, can mugs be bought directly at the Core Cars News office? If you catch us there, and bring cash. We don't take cards, though, at the office. We're usually open 9 to 4 daily when somebody's typically around, not always, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. local. Do you know if Apple's new streaming service will be like Netflix or a live streaming service? Yes, this has been often a lot. So Apple is coming out rumored sometime next year, on demand. It'll be on demand. They're trying to take on Netflix. Apple looked at doing a live TV streaming service, kind of realized the margins weren't there, the profit wasn't there, and they said, we're not going to do a live TV streaming service. So they went into on demand to take on Netflix. We'll see. They're offering, the word is it's going to be free for Apple TV, Apple phone, iPads, iPhones, etc. users. We haven't heard if it's going to be available to Android and so forth users at this time. So we'll see what happens, but it's not going to be live. It's going to be on demand. I'm kind of interesting. A lot of services are now trying to get in the market, and with so many on the market, you saw my prediction earlier about a week ago that by the end of 2019, quite a few streaming services are going to fold. Not because cord cutting is wrong. We just saw the huge growth, over 300,000 fewer DirecTV subscribers in the satellite version than there were just 3 months ago. The problem is there's just hundreds of live TV services, or hundreds of streaming services, and maybe about 20 if you count all the smaller ones, live TV services. There's just such a saturation in the market with more being added every month. You have to wonder how long some of these can hold on, because just in reality, they won't be able to support it. So just keep that in mind. Big Sky says he just returned his Apple TV 4K and went to a Roku Ultra. It's a little slower, but works better for you. Big Sky, what works better for you about the Roku Ultra? Let me know. All right. My Tube says he was very disappointed by Home Run. What was wrong with that? I'd love to, a lot of people say I was disappointed with this, or I switched and I like it better. Why? I'd love to hear from you. Why was it a better fit for you? Why wasn't it a better fit for you? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. All right. Keep the questions coming, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you want a mute button on your Roku, buy a Cyclic. Yeah, Cyclic Universal Remote is pretty nice. I actually have one, but it's in the family room, and I'm not going to go get it. But Cyclic, if you haven't seen before, sold on Amazon and Best Buy, and it takes your Roku remote, you plug it in there, it puts a row of buttons on the side of your Roku remote, which you can program to do anything from power on off TV, change the channel, change the volume, and mute, change input and sources, and so forth. All right. Hey, a lot of new people here today. Great to see so many first-time people join us. Do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. And follow us. Every week we're posting tons of videos, how-tos, reviews, recommendations, and tips about how you can get the most out of cord cutting. Of course, we do this Q&A show live every Wednesday. Every Saturday we post a weekly recap show. So check it out. CordCuttersNews.com is also our website where we're posting daily, sometimes 10 or more stories a day, all about the world of cord cutting. Here's a great question. Isn't it the responsibility of cable companies to come fix my home internet without charging for fixing a problem with the network setup? It's their setup that leads to our connectivity issues here. Depends what your contract says. It all depends on what's in your contract. Often it depends on what the issue is. If the issue is on a line somewhere, they don't charge. If the issue's in your home, like an equipment in the house, sometimes they charge for that. You would think, like, hey, you pay a monthly fee, you rent the modem, fixing it should be free, right? I agree with you. Unfortunately, it just is what it is. Am I still using the Moho Striker antenna? I'm reviewing an RCA antenna right now. I rotate a lot of antennas in my house because I'm reviewing them. Look for an RCA antenna review later this week. But the Striker antenna I've been very pleased with. I do think it's a very good quality antenna. I would recommend it if you're looking for an antenna in that price range with that range. I heard that Locast is coming to Philadelphia. Is that true? I have heard that. It is SID to be confirmed. We'll wait and see. These things have a way of being SID and then plans change. Luke, do you recommend hardwiring or Wi-Fi? If you can, Ethernet's always the best option, hardwiring it to your modem. If not, a strong Wi-Fi signal should be more than enough. In my house, I use Wi-Fi, and I have no problems with streaming YouTube, DirecTV Now, Hulu, etc. But that's because I have strong Wi-Fi signal where the TV is. And that's the most important thing. The number one cause of streaming issues is weak Wi-Fi. So whenever possible, do your best to make sure you have a strong Wi-Fi signal. About an hour west of Dallas. It could be 5G. It could not have anything to do with 5G. It could just be doing service. Movie Fan says Optimum Verizon for internet service. Which one's cheaper? I don't know that. You have to do your own research, call both, figure out. Unfortunately, prices depend on where you live a lot. And I don't know where you live, and even if I did, I wouldn't know what they're charging for internet there. So I would call both to see which one they charge. All right. Have you heard anything about the Disney Now streaming service? I was wondering when they plan to release it. So so go to corecarsnews.com. You will find I have a ton of details over about the new Disney streaming service. It's said to be released in in the second half of 2019, I should say. Probably fall will be my best guess. It could be very late summer, very early winter, but fall is probably my best. Does Philo have a DVR in the plans? Why did I think Philo had a DVR? Philo.edu has a DVR. Yeah, Philo has a DVR. Yep. Philo allows you to very similar to PlayStation Vue DVR. It sticks around for 30 days. Philo does have a DVR. Sometimes when people say, why doesn't it? I'm like, I swear it did. Let me double check. So that one I did. Yes, it does. Well, Hulu buffer on 10 megabytes down. If you're just running one stream of Hulu, it shouldn't, as long as you have strong Wi-Fi. If possible, I would try to say 20. I find I had my best experience starting around 20, 25. DirecTV Now does have a Roku app. Yep, it sure does. Will Roku shelve their TV speakers if they end up having an arrangement with Sonos? I don't think the deal with Sonos has anything to do with that. I think the deal with Sonos has more to do, very similar to Google Assistant deal, where with Roku OS 9, you can use your Google Assistant, if you have a Google Home device, to control your TV. So you can ask that assistant to turn on and off, switch channels, switch apps, volume up, volume down, do all that kind of stuff. And your Roku TV, Roku player. I think Corner reports Roku is in talks with Sonos for a similar deal, so you can integrate your Sonos speaker to control your Roku TV. Jason, it's great to have you here live. I'm happy to hear that you were able to join us. I hope the dentist wasn't too bad. Luke, do you have any updates on the start date for Fox Nation? The last I saw is soon. Yeah, as best as I can tell, soon. They have not set a date. They have not announced a price. Would expect at $5 to $10 range. I think $5 sounds about right for the service, if not less. The $2.99, $5 would probably be the best spot for Fox Nation. It's very interesting though, because Fox Nation and NBC are doing two very different. Fox Nation, as best we can tell, will be mostly new opinion-related shows and curated or documentaries, that kind of stuff. Where NBC's MSNBC, which is now moving from an MSNBC streaming service to an NBC streaming service for NBC News, will be a subscription service that looks like it's focused more on news and less about charging additional for additional like premium shows. It'll be interesting. So MSNBC's out there as a 24-hour news service. Now NBC wants to launch their own 24-hour news service, which will compete with each other. Fox has hey, we have our Fox News 24-hour news service, and then we have Fox Nation, which will do documentaries and opinion-related programming and more. It seems like Fox's plan won't compete with each other as well. I think Fox's program will also attract cable subscribers. It's like, hey, you're a cable subscriber, you're a big fan of Fox, want to get Fox Nation. It's the ESPN Plus kind of model. So I'm very interested to see what happens with that. But Fox Nation is launching in the next couple of weeks, probably, maybe a month or two max. It's hit by in 2018. NBC's new streaming service for their news programming won't get fully underway until mid next year. it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. Yes, I am getting a review unit of the Roku speakers and hope to have a review of that up as soon as possible. No date has been set for them. All right, keep the questions coming. I'll do my best to answer all of them. Why don't ISPs promote the low-income service? It'll be the reason they don't promote them. They do it through certain government-related programs to promote it, but they don't promote it because it would cost them money. You know, they want you on the regular service. They make more money for it. All right. Luke, when is Sling TV adding the ID channel? We don't know. Oh, Chris asks, how's the Pixel 3 been? I got the Pixel 3 right here. Love it. Absolutely love it. It's a boss phone on day one. Does have a couple little bugs every now and then. For a split second, the Bluetooth drops and reconnects. They said that they'll have a bug fix for that very soon. So, other than that, that's my only complaint. I love it. A few things I love about it is it's clean. There's no junk on this. There's no third-party apps. There's no skinned version of Android or anything. I love the fact that it does a very good job when somebody calls me. It will use Google to go search, and if I don't have them in my phone book, it will say, hey, your dentist office is calling, or a doctor or somebody. It also does a really great job of showing spam. It says, hey, this is a suspected spam call, and it does an excellent job identifying that. Very, very pleased. Phone quality, speaker quality on it's good. It's very snappy, very good job of pictures, beautiful pictures, best phone I've ever had for pictures, and the battery on it is unbelievably. It is just unbelievable power, battery life on it. Just to be honest with you, it's a Pixel 3 XL on the app. I'm getting Roku speakers next month. Pre-ordered them. I look forward to hooking them up. Yeah, I think you'd be very happy from what I've seen, Jason. Very excited to get my hands on them. Have I tried the AT&T Watch streaming service? Yes, I've had it. It is very inexpensive. There is a few limitations. It's very similar to Philo. And if you look for very cheap, look for Philo or look at AT&T Watch. If you have AT&T Unlimited, you may want to look at their Unlimited more and get the AT&T Watch for free. Not a bad service, actually. Greenlight Gaming doesn't seem to agree with my review of the Pixel. I'm very happy with it. I know my wife had an iPhone for a while, and I just absolutely love the Pixel. One thing I love about the phone is if I exit a call, those Facebook chat bubbles, which puts a little icon on your screen, you can tap on it, open and close Facebook Messenger. They do that with the phones too, and all kinds of things. So there's a lot of just very easy to use stuff I've been very impressed with. What streaming device is your favorite? Mine's the Apple TV 4K. I have all of them. I have an Apple TV. I have all the Rokus. I have all the Fire TVs. I have most of the Android TVs, all the generations of Google Chromecast, and more. What's my favorite? It depends on what you want it for. If you are an iTunes user and you buy most of your stuff on iTunes, get an Apple TV. It's the best option. It's come a long way in the last year and a half. It used to be, I would say, Apple TV is great, but it's missing a lot of apps, and they've really addressed the app issue. I still think they're overcharging. I think Apple would sell a lot more and could probably make a good run at maybe overtaking the Fire TV in the market if they would drop the price closer to 100, even 120. I think will help them a lot. If you buy a lot of things on Amazon, you can't beat the Fire TV. It's not bad at all. It's a great player. Lack of YouTube though holds it back. Roku, super simple to use it. What I love is my young daughter can use it. My parents can use it. It seems like with Roku, it's just so simple. That's what I love about my daughter. Had no problem from when she was 2, and family members I have in their 80s have no problem using the Roku. So that's why I think all of the above is pretty nice. So Android TV, great option too, especially the NVIDIA Shield, very powerful, very nice. I do sometimes wonder though how serious Google is about Android TV. So I think all of the above. It depends on you, on your use case. What is good for you may not be good for me. Let's say I don't use iTunes at all. I'm not an iTunes user. I use everything on Amazon. Well, there is an app on the 4K. It doesn't allow me to buy through the app. So I can make an argument for everything. Hey, Roku's great, but doesn't have iTunes. Go there. Fire TV's great, doesn't have YouTube. So I could tell you negatives about each streaming service. I could tell you, or device. I could tell you a positive about each streaming device out there. All right. All right, keep the questions coming if I have answered them. But again, tons of new people here today. So great to see you. Do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification button. Every week we do these Q&As live on Wednesdays. Every Saturday we post a CoreCon recap with some of my opinions on the biggest stories in the world of CoreCon from the past week. We do all kinds of reviews, how-to guides, and more. We got a review of the new Fire TV 4K stick next week. We'll have a review of the Roku speakers coming up. We'll have... every month we do things like the best new Roku channels and more right here. And of course, over at corecarsnews.com, we have even more news, tips, and tricks out there. So make sure, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe, hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell. It's a huge help. One little thing, real quick, if you have a YouTube channel you like, and you don't want to subscribe to their Patreon, just randomly like their videos. I pretty much like every video I watch now, because if I like the creator, I want to support them. And YouTube does say, hey, how many people have liked this video? Does help them, and then YouTube say, oh, a bunch of people liked it, let's show it to even more people. So if you ever want to help, even if it's not me, help a YouTube creator, just randomly like their videos. It does more help than you may think it does. Apple TV's price doesn't need to go down. Some people say it needs to match the NVIDIA Shield. I think the NVIDIA Shield's a little overpriced. It's very, very powerful. The NVIDIA Shield is by far the most powerful streaming player on the market, even more than the Apple TV. For streaming, though, it's kind of overkill. Wouldn't mind a cheaper, maybe less gaming focused NVIDIA Shield. NVIDIA's a gaming company. They're going to stay focused on that. It's just what they do. They're great. They're great at what they do. But that's, I think, a downside that's going to hold them back. All right. All right. Keep the questions coming. I'll do my best to answer them. Hopefully helping you get a little bit more out of your cord cutting experience. Luke, can you recommend a Roku TV for somebody on a budget? My friend wants to upgrade from a 32-inch non-smart TV to a 50-inch Roku TV in the $500 range. Well, in the $500 range, you can pretty much get a Roku TV from almost every brand. TCL, Sharp, Insignia, pretty much all of them. The Hisense brand and the TCL brand are the Roku TVs I've used. RCA is actually another one I've used a bit, but they're all backed by Roku, so I would say they're all pretty much good. I would try to get one as close to that $500 range. There is so there's bare minimum cheap Roku TVs in the $200 to $300 range. Then there's the $500 to $600 range ones, and then there's the $600 to $700 range ones. And really, once you get to the $500 price range a little bit, you do notice a big jump in quality of the TV. The bare minimum ones are often not in 4K HDR. The $500 ones is usually where the 4K HDR starts in the 50-inch range. Which stations besides Facebook will carry the NBA G League? I'm actually not sure. Isn't the G League not until next summer? Somebody help me. G League just finished, and it won't start again until next spring or summer, right? I won't be surprised if ESPN Plus gets it, but that's just speculation. What is Microsoft TV? Microsoft TV is their Xbox, etc. store where you buy movies and stuff through there. What service has the most local channels in Sherman, Texas? I'm not sure. Pretty much the big ones you need to check is DirecTV Now, PlayStation Vue, Hulu, and oh boy, DirecTV Now, PlayStation Vue, Hulu, Fubo TV, but they don't have ABCs. I think I want, but I would, if at all possible, try an antenna. Because an antenna, even if it get through your local, will give you even through a streaming service, will give you even more locals than your streaming service will get. And it's nice to have a backup there, so if your internet's ever out, you still have access to TV. And Jason is correct. Thanksgiving is coming up. Black Friday deals. So maybe if you can wait until Thanksgiving, see if you can get a good TV deal there. We will be, of course, having a ton of Black Friday deals posted over at corecarsnews.com. Subscribe to our newsletter and more. So keep that in mind for Black Friday deals. Edward says NBA G League is the NBA minor league. Yep, I'm very familiar with the G League is, but I thought it aired during the summer, so we may not know what they're going out there, what they're doing until next summer or next year at least. Does Microsoft TV have live TV? No, from my understanding, it's all on demand. Just another store like Vudu, Amazon, iTunes, etc. to buy movies and so forth for Xbox and Windows and so forth. All right. Do I find there's overabundance of Pirate apps on Android TV? I mean, no more than on Fire TV. Here's my thing. If you have to sideload it, it's a red flag. If it sounds too good to be true, that should be a huge red flag. You know, it's like your grandma always said, if it's too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. Have I ever done a review on the Toshiba Fire TV once? No, I haven't done the Toshiba Fire. I do have a Westinghouse one, the first gen. It's on my list to try to do. I was unable to get Toshiba to send us a review unit. They just didn't do it. So, unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. Yes, don't forget, enter the Roku giveaway. Ends tonight. Link in the show notes if you want to enter for a chance to win a free Roku once. Oh, the G League starts in November. Why? Why did I think it ran in the summer for some reason? I know WNBA runs in the summer. Maybe they didn't want to compete with the WNBA, so they moved it to the winter. But yeah, I'll see about checking into where it's streaming this year. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. All right, keep those questions coming. I'll do my best to answer them. Fingers crossed here. All right. Let me grab a pretty great question. Any chance that MSG or WPIX coming to PlayStation Vue? MSG is on Fubo TV. It's on DirecTV now. Somebody help me out. There's another service as MSG, the sports network. Is that Hulu? It's hard to keep all these tracks, but yes, there are quite a few services. I don't think PlayStation Vue is one of them right now. When will DirecTV now add more markets to the CW network? The CW network has not seemed all that interested in offering their service. A lot of them, an antenna for most people will answer that question. If you can't get it, CW does have an app on pretty much every streaming player that airs the CW shows the next day for free. So check that out. Does the Fire TV have Philo? Yes, I believe the Fire TV stick does support Philo. Now, it was recently added, not that long ago. Off the top of your head, have you heard of any anything amazing coming out before Xmas or in 2019? When we say amazing, like streaming services, well, Disney's coming out with a streaming service in 2019. That sounds very interesting. All right. Keep it checking out. All right. Any insight on whether YouTube TV will be adding more channels? Probably. We'll see. It's hard to tell right now what's happening with that. I know AT&T announced this week that they're going to carefully look at what channels they're offering on both DirecTV and DirecTV Now, and they may be dropping channels that are less profitable in an effort to get smaller, skinnier bundles. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. DirecTV Now will come to Xbox One. Maybe. We'll see. They keep talking about it, but they haven't done it, from my understanding. All right. Keep the questions coming. It's kind of a quiet day. You all watching the World Series? I see the Red Sox are up 1-0 right now. Thanks, Craig. It's always that fun time of year when you get about October because NBA's out. Major League Baseball World Series. College football. I mean, I could watch college football all day. NFL football. High school football. And the list goes on and on. Isn't Canadian football, isn't their championship game about to happen, or did it just happen? I'm not. Once college football happens, I stop watching Canadian Football League. Sorry, Canadian fans. Love you, love you, love you. Love me some summertime Canadian football. But give me some Michigan Wolverines any day of the week. Um, all right, Bobby. If I didn't answer your question, re-ask it. I don't see it. The thing you gotta remember is, as I'm answering one question, people are still talking. So I will from time to time miss a question. If I don't answer it, re-ask it, and I'll do my best to answer them. But if you answer a question and I'm talking, I'm answering another question, and it scrolls by me, I'm not going to see it. You can also do a super chat. Drop a couple of bucks, ask your question. That way it's not missed. Do I know when Hulu will add more channels? No. Here's the deal, folks. I don't know if I know anything about new channels coming. I'll post it as soon as I can. So if it's not posted over at CoreCarsNews.com, make sure you watch CoreCarsNews.com. Then I don't know when more are coming. Fubo TV is actually about $49. I think they start with a special on $35 for the first few months, and then it goes up from there. What's the scoop on OTA 3.0? It's been announced that pretty much every major over the broadcast TV network is going to support it. It's a new standard. It offers things like 4K, better penetration, so it'll do a better job. That one tower can cover a larger part of the country. So if you live in an area like with slightly weak where you get it, but you kind of don't get a channel, hopefully it will help with that. Offers additional features, more like there's a weather alert system. You know, you have a weather radio in your house. Well, now your TV, if you enable it, it's an opt-in feature, will offer the ability to be a weather radio where it could turn on your TV and play the local TV station when there's a tornado. And it'll use the ability so it can very specifically through the internet and different things geolocate you and say, hey, only people in this town who are actually affected by the tornado will get the alert. You ever hate it when you're like in I used to live in a very large county where something could be happening like an hour away, driving a car doing 70, but still technically in the county. So I would get an alert in the middle of the night, and it's like, yeah, that's really nowhere near me, not heading towards me. It's not even raining here. So that's a pretty cool feature. There's other features in it that'll do more stuff. But yeah, 2020 is the rollout for the target date for public rollout. Bobby, I don't quite understand your question. The weather service on Local Now? Question mark. What about Local Now? Local Now is just is an app on Roku and Android iOS that takes your local TV station and many of them, not all of them, and streams them online for free. Has on-demand versions, replays, and all that kind of stuff. It's a pretty cool service. Highly recommend it. But I'm not sure what you talk about the weather service on Local Now app or News on Local Now. Oh, I confused News On with Local Now. Local Now is the weather channel. It's a streaming thing where they stream it. Now, technically, you're supposed to have a subscription service, but often you can delete the app, reinstall it, and get another 30-day free trial of it. When is the XFL starting? I'm not sure when the XFL is starting. They do sound like they're going to be very streaming, very cord-cutting friendly from what they're saying. How do commercial-free streaming radio stations make money? Often they're piracy. A lot of times you see some of these pirate ones pop up. Other ones survive off of donations. That's why you hear them always go on donations. Bobby, I don't understand your question. So what about the weather channels Local Now do you want to know? Do you want to know how you get it? Do you want to know what's your question? Let me know. Tony says, thank you, Core Cars News, for your tip on libraries offering streaming service. Very helpful. Yeah, most public libraries now not only offer DVDs and more, but they'll also offer a streaming service. Highly recommend you look into your local library for a great core cut option. Yeah, so everybody's letting me know XFL starts in spring of 2020. I'm very excited about XFL. I like the idea that when the NFL ends, there will be football going on the rest of the year. Sign me up for football every day of the week, all year. Teddy says, Luke, I'm a new subscriber. Can you put IPTV and a Roku TV? Well, IPTV services are technically things like DirecTV Now, Sync TV. None of them call themselves an IPTV service. They're typically called live TV streaming service. Typically, if a service calls themselves an IPTV streaming service, it's usually a red flag that it's not a legitimate streaming service. There may be a few exemptions to that rule where they are legitimate, but they still call themselves an IPTV service for some reason. But Roku has cracked down on piracy. Why? Because they were banned in Mexico for almost 2 years, or for a year and a half-ish, because of a complaint that they had unofficial apps that people could sideload that were piracy. And so they started banning all the apps, and now Roku's can sell once again in Mexico. People are like, oh, Roku should allow piracy. They'll sell so much stuff. Not as much as they would sell if they could sell in countries like Mexico, who would ban them for allowing it. You notice Amazon Fire TV, not officially sold in Mexico. So keep that in mind. Luke, do you fly out to CES each year? Would you recommend someone going to it? Yes, I will be at CES once again this year, and the National Association of Broadcasters, NAB, also later in the year, a few other shows. If you're not an accredited press, and it's a lot harder to get accredited press than it used to be. It used to be almost anyone could get it. They cracked down on that. But if you want to spend $1,000 and go. It's a lot of fun. You see a lot of stuff. It is crazy expensive. Not only do you have to pay like $1,000 to get in, you're gonna pay $200-300 a night for a hotel room, and not even a nice hotel room. Some of the nicer ones can go for $1,000 a night. It's crazy expensive. I usually stay kind of far away. Circus is actually not that bad if you're looking for a cheap room. That's you can actually walk to the convention center from if you want to walk for about 10 minutes to 15 minutes. Not a bad option. So check that out. But what I recommend you go. You can go. It is very expensive, and it's much harder than it used to be to get in. So start trying to get it now, and save up your money, because not only are you going to pay $200 a night, you're going to pay $20-30 a meal. Cab rides are crazy. Honestly, it's like, why go to Vegas? They charge through the nose for everything. And honestly, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old. You can go to Branson, you can go to Disney, you can go to so many other places and get a very good experience, similar, for a fraction of the price. I don't know. Vegas is going to hit a point someday where they're going to say, we're kind of pricing ourselves out of this market. You already see some big trade shows, like the Home and Builder show moved from Vegas to Disney, because I think a lot had to do with cost. I'm no expert. I'm just saying my personal experience. It's just, dang, it's expensive. You can easily spend $3,000 for one person to go to CES before you even sweat, before you even try to spend money. Any idea how many I'm not, Ariel. I'm just not familiar how many subframe networks are available. I'm assuming you mean those DigiNets, the like 0.2 on your antenna. There's, 100 of them, small across the country. Watch it on CNET. You don't need to watch it on CNET, Bill. Watch it on CoreCardsNews.com. We'll have all the greatest cord cutting news from CES for our 4th year. I want to say this is our 4th year going to CES and covering it. Johnny, if you're really worried about locals, I would check out an antenna. Antennas really are a great option. You can always get DVR for it. The nice thing about DVR with the antenna is there's no limitations, it doesn't auto delete, all that kind of stuff. If you're looking for, I see some people asking how do I watch Fox? How do I get this channel? Excuse me. In the show notes, I have a link to a live TV guide. So pull it down, look right there, a live TV guide. There it would show all the cord cutting services, Sling TV, Hulu, it'll say like ABC or AMC, excuse me, and it'll show you all the services that carry it. So keep it there. Thanks, Bill. Can you watch BBC World News on Roku? You used to be able to. I honestly don't watch BBC World News. It is on YouTube TV. It is on Philo. I don't know if they still have a Roku app. Sky News is on Roku for free. I know that. Dean, no, there's not a way to pick up all those digital nets with a big satellite dish, because a lot of them are just broadcast in select markets, not nationwide. Do I use a VPN? Well, when I travel and I use a public Wi-Fi, I definitely use a VPN. I don't really see any real need to. One second. For VPN, I don't use them for streaming. I don't really see a reason for it. I do highly encourage you not to use a public Wi-Fi network without a VPN. All right, get the questions in. I'll take about one more question. I got to wrap this up. I just lost the track of the time, and I got a message that I got to be somewhere. So get those questions in real quick. I'll try to do one more. Hit that subscribe button. Would really appreciate the subscribe numbers to go up. We're always struggling to do our best. We do reviews, how-to guides, weekly Q&As, weekly recap shows of the biggest stories in the world of cord cutting. And as always, check out cordcuttersnews.com, cordcuttersnews.com for more cord cutting related questions. Thoughts on AT&T Watch TV, available on Roku. They say it's coming. They have not set a date. Johnny says he has an antenna, but he wants to be able to watch locals affiliates when he's not at home. So I need a TV service. No, you could get a device like a Tablo DVR. There's quite a few that will allow you to stream your antenna outside your home, so you can watch it that way. So if you're happy with the service, you just wish that I would buy a one-time fee to get, if you have a Fire TV, get the recast when it comes out next month to stream outside your home. Do I like Haystack TV? Are you talking about the news app? Yeah, the news app is a great option there. What is the best food to eat while watching college football? This year, for some reason, it's been nachos, and every time I have nachos, Michigan wins. So I'm gonna keep eating nachos. Of course, you got some meatballs, you got to put some ribs, some hamburgers. Can't ever go wrong with a good hamburger. Pizza's not a bad option if you're a little busy. Never go wrong. All right. If you haven't hit subscribe, do that. Don't forget, tonight is the last chance to enter our Roku Ultra 2018 giveaway. And don't forget, cordcuttersnews.com. Check it out. Is news not coming to Apple TV? You would hope so sometime. We'll wait and see. All right, everybody. Take care. I will see you next week. It's been over an hour. It's been a great show today. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. I will see you all next week. Take care, everybody.